I've sent her the invite, so we ought to. All right, can we get you now?
Yeah, I hear you. Can you hear me?
All right, yes we can. Yes we can.
I guess it's my old Bluetooth headphones. Like I haven't done this in a year, so I don't know,
Right,
maybe they just I can hear but I can't talk.
right, right, right. That's good. I'm glad to have you on. It's really exciting to talk to you like this
I
instead of
know.
instead of texting it. But
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
yeah. I've been a subscriber of yours since you had 800 subscribers on the first channel.
I think
So
before that, I think
I believe it
that we
was.
did we start around the same time?
I think so. If I'm not mistaken. If I'm
Right,
not mistaken.
right around the
Right.
same time, yeah. I just remember you been there. You and Carrie been there for me since the beginning of time.
Yeah. Right. Good.
Mhm.
So let's see. Hold on. I work at a few different historic houses, and I was a skeptic until multiple experiences at them. Woohoo! She has got audio. Yep. So, would you like to tell everybody a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So, sorry, picking up my stuff now. So my husband has been tossing in
Oh
the
yeah.
trash. Well, my name is Leslie. I live in New Orleans. I am 35 years old. I've been seeing ghosts since I was 9. I started out ghost hunting just as a hobby. That my best friend ended up telling me about YouTube, and I was against it at first, and she talked me into it, and here I am.
Yeah, I know. I know. You've been doing it for a while, and you had gained so many subscribers, and something happened, and then you had to restart your whole channel, and that was really unfortunate. I know that was. That was
Yeah, I never came out public about anything. I never came out
right.
public.
Right.
So I'll just, I had 36,000 subscribers and over a
Right.
million views. And I get
Mhm.
a, after a year and a half, I was on there for a year and a half and I had that, like
Yep.
here in New Orleans, for example, Drew and I, we just walked downtown New Orleans for 2 weeks in a row the last 2 weeks right after my stitches, because I just had surgery, I had stitches taken out. I'm
Right.
like, let's go walk down handing out our cards, getting people to subscribe. We got people at our jobs like, oh, I know this person. They own this haunted place and that haunted place. So so I'm like, oh, I gotta go back out there and do this all over again. But
I know. I know.
so
It sucks. It's got to be heartbreaking. I know that. God knows, because it's a lot of work just to get to 1,000. It is for me. I know at least. Good Lord, it's got to be for other people. So
yeah, well, like I said, I never spoke out about anything. Like I got caught up in my own controversy and had fallen out, with a few people last summer, and everybody thought everybody was out to get them. And I was one of those people that thought, oh, everybody's out to get me. And some people were. So I backed out and then ended up with Drew. He moved here. We got together. We started filming and meeting all these people. Came across, Patty from the G team.
hmm
Film with her. All that stuff blew up in December. In
mm,
December, right around Christmas, right? 2 weeks later, January 12th, I get an email saying that my channel shut down, demonetized because my
mm.
channel was spammed with bots.
Oh my God.
Spammed with bots. I don't know who did it. I'm not blaming nobody. I'm like,
Right.
I didn't talk to nobody. I never came out against anybody. I didn't get
hmm
mixed up with all of that. Like,
Yep.
we have everybody's phone numbers. We have, Omar, Melissa, and Tiffany's phone number. And of course, Patty, we hung out with her. We got blocked by her. We don't know why. Like I said, I don't know who spammed my channel with the bot. I really don't know where that came from, but
Hmm.
it was horrible. I went from having 9 to 10 minute retention watch time for the total channel to like 24 seconds. So I don't know. I don't know.
Wow.
After a year and a half.
Yeah,
So
I
I
know.
was like, you know what? At that point, I'm not talking to nobody. I
Mhm.
deactivated my Twitter. I don't want to be around anybody. So I know
Yep.
you reached out and you're like, hey, what happened? I'm like, I can't talk about it. Yeah,
Right. Right.
I didn't come out about it until yesterday when, like, Drew and I were not trying to get on TV, but we are
Mhm.
meeting TV personnel.
Hmm.
Mustafa off Ghost Hunter. So we finally came out and I did a post. I said, you know what? This might be my comeback post where I finally tell people that I had to shut down the old channel and restart a new one. And the
Hmm.
name's completely different, but you don't want to talk too much of the negativity, but I still have every old video on the old channel is still there on the old channel. Everything's on private. I'm gonna take everything
Hmm.
from the old channel, put it on the new channel. I have brand new footage that we had from a year ago, footage that we filmed, 2 days ago. All that's going to be uploaded. So we have
Yeah.
plenty of opportunities coming. I look at it as I had to start over, but everything happens for a reason. And,
Right.
maybe there was a chance for me. I mean, come on, Joe. After the whole incident with, the situation in December, every one of my videos, like I put up a video and first couple seconds, I would have 11 thumbs down right off the bat. I'd have
Ooh.
negative comments, getting blocked by everybody on Twitter that I didn't even know because I wasn't speaking out for or against anybody. Like I just didn't
Hmm.
want to be in it.
Yeah.
That's not
Yeah.
what I'm here for. So
Right.
I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna start over in silence. I'm
Hmm.
deactivated Twitter. I'm done with Twitter. I'm only on
Hmm.
Instagram
Hmm.
and Facebook.
Yep.
And I'm like, this is my back to my rising point,
Yep.
and here
Yeah.
I am.
I mean, sometimes it's good to start over. Get a fresh start.
Yeah, I wasn't mad about it at all. I was like, you know what? That's a lesson for me,
Yeah.
and not to trust anybody. Like, don't
Right.
ever let your
That's right. That's right. Yep. So, does anybody have any questions for Leslie? Let's see if we got any. Let's see. We got a couple comments. What's up, Chris from American Phantom Hunters? Um, so you and Drew are together, but you're keeping your channels separate, correct?
correct. We
Cool.
definitely are.
Cool deal. That's all right. What is your favorite paranormal tool to use when you investigate?
Um, I like lights and noise, so
Hmm.
mine is the REM pod. The REM
Hmm.
pod, definitely.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like that too. I also like them little cat balls. Also, they're kind of cool. You ever use them little cat balls?
Yeah, I actually have one. One died on me, and I still have another.
Yeah, that's
So
the bad
yeah,
thing
I have
about
the light.
that. Yeah, the batteries go bad, and them things
Yeah,
so bad.
yeah, definitely. But I'm not really reading the chat. I can't see the chat. So anyone
Yeah.
telling me hi, hello.
All right. Heather says, "What's your channel called? It's All Things Paranormal, correct?"
All Things Paranormal official because I'm officially over it.
Right, right. So you've seen, like you said earlier, you've seen spirits since you were younger. Was that right?
Yeah, my first one, I was 9. I came home, it was daylight.
Hmm.
And I was always fascinated with, we grew up poor. We were dirt trailer park trash poor
Hmm.
type, no central air and heat, no cell phones, no TV, none of that. So I was always intrigued with horror, well, tell me some scary stories. And you sit here and like talk about that all day long, with your
Hmm.
siblings, because I'm one of 3, or talk about that with my mom. And one day I came home from school and I was changing my clothes, and I remember being in my room and I had this feeling with full of goosebumps, like just this urging feeling to go out into the hallway and just look left. And I did, and I saw my very first spirit. It's a woman, a female, and she was maybe in her 20s, 28 to 32, and she just walked straight through the wall, like she went outside. And I stood there. I didn't scream. I didn't move. I wasn't scared. I was like, wow. And as soon as she disappeared, I stood there some more, like maybe she'll come back. And then when I realized she didn't, I ran outside all the way around, the house looking for her, and I couldn't find it. I went inside and told my mom, like, I think I just saw a ghost. And ever since then, I tried to do like seances to see him again, and I wanted to go to haunted places. And I was 9 years
Mhm.
old.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah, I I had never seen a ghost until I started ghost hunting myself, but somebody had pulled my shirt or something had pulled my shirt, and that's what really kind of sparked it for me. And it's just a question of what is it? Why is somebody still here? Or what happens when you die? So just that question. So yeah, that's amazing. Let me check and see. Does anybody have any questions for Leslie? Uh, mm, all right. So you damn. So you I hate to ask this question. I don't know if it's public or not, but I have seen the pictures. Uh-oh, I think I lost her. Yep. Okay, Josh, I'll ask her that here in a second. Let me see what happened to her. I might have lost her. She might have lost signal. I'll let Leslie know too, also that you subscribe to her to criticism. That's a good one too, Chris. Has she ever experienced demonic entity? Yeah, y'all got to help me out with some questions because I'm starting to hit a blank wall. Hold on, I think she's coming back. Let me let everybody in. All right, there we go.
Okay.
All right,
It's
we got it.
been raining every day for like the last 2.5 months, and it's raining now. So maybe that's,
Might
going,
be.
messing up the Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Let me know too if your battery starts going dead fast on your phone because I think these StreamYard things will burn them down pretty quick. But
Okay.
uh
What was your question before I lost you?
okay, we got what was the creepiest location that you've ever been to?
My creepiest was well, recently, I mean, I haven't uploaded yet. We ended up going to what we thought was a hospital. We read online it was one of the most abandoned hospitals in Louisiana. No, it's not charity. You can't get in there.
Mm-hmm.
And we go inside, and I'm like, this isn't, like I'm with Drew and my oldest son because he comes out and film, and I'm always venturing off. So I go off on one side and they go off on the other, and I'm by myself, and I'm like, I'm finding evidence of this isn't a hospital. I kept saying in the video, this isn't a hospital. This isn't a hospital. Because no hospitals have carpet all over the floor, for one. That
Wow.
raised red flags for me. And then the second was I was finding stuff like it could have been a drug rehab center, stuff that they take, to detox and medicine bottles everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And we go, each floor had something different. Another floor had like office desks and chairs flipped over. And I'm turned to Drew and DJ was like, every abandoned hospital we went into they have files in the file cabinet. This place is completely wiped out, no paper, nothing.
Mm.
We get to another floor, we see like chemo treatment stuff, and he's like, "See, it's a hospital." I said, "It can't be a hospital. There's still carpet everywhere. There's no carpet in hospitals." I said, "It
Mm.
looks like maybe an FBI place or something." We go in another room. There's police caution tape everywhere. So we're like, okay, is that from, you know, people coming in, vandals or whatever, or what happened? I said, no, I'm getting a darker feeling from this place. This is not what we read online. And we never went to the building before ever. We just read it, I guess from the
Mm-hmm.
address we put in. So we go up to the fifth floor, and there's more office desk everywhere. And the boys venture off into one room, and I keep going straight, into this big old room. And I was like, I'm thinking, oh, there's mold everywhere, and I'm like, man, I really want to go. I just have the sense of want to go. I want to go. I want to go. And then it took me a minute to realize that it wasn't mold, it was ashes. And I look up and I'm like, oh, and I still smell like fire, like the charcoal smell. Well, I'm yelling for Drew and my son. They're yelling for me. So I meet them in the room that they're in, and they were like, oh, this place is more than what it seems. They had aliens here, and da 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 da. So we have on the board, on this dry erase board, it was like, alien shows no signs of supernatural powers, but has telekinesis because it can bend a spoon. We moved it to room 347. I was like, okay, that's it. I ended the video. I said, see, there's something else darker here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're walking up the building. We got lost, and I'm looking to the levee. This is like New Orleans Chalmette area. So I'm like, okay, there's a U.S. Navy ship, and I knew, and I said this on my camera, but I didn't say this in front of the boys. I saw evidence of a new U.S. naval. So I look at that. I'm like, there's a U.S. Navy ship. I'll bet you this building's connected to that. We leave and we see NSA. We had no idea what NSA meant.
Mm-hmm.
And we see the big old, like some peeled sign, something about the U.S. Navy. We hurry up, we leave, we get in the car, and that's when I'm Googling it. It's an old USS naval base. It was the original Navy headquarters. And they did do experimental things, not just on aliens, but other things. So I'm like, I thought the orphanage was my scariest place. I hate going there. Place,
Wow.
top it on. I don't deal with aliens. I'm sorry. I'm still trying to accept the fact that they're real. I don't know. I'm like, ghost is easy.
Yeah.
Seems
Yeah.
easy. This, because
Wow.
now it makes you wonder about everything.
Wow. That's crazy. That is amazing. Yeah, I've seen some weird lights when I was younger in the sky out where I grew up at. And I have never seen nothing move as fast as what I seen. And the weird thing is that it kept coming back week after week for at least 3 weeks in a row. And I kept telling people, hey, something's going on. Everybody didn't believe me. And about a year later, what happened was me and my dad were driving back home, and there it was, sitting over top of the lake right near our house. And it was just sitting still this time. And I said, see, I told you there was something going on over here. So it was fairly crazy. We do yeah,
Well,
you got a new
what's the
subscriber
creepiest
also
you've been to?
from me.
Mm-hmm.
Is that was that your question? Uh
Yeah, where's the
the
scariest place?
creepiest
The
thing,
creepiest place you can carry me to?
the creepiest place that we ever went to was, I have to say, Trans Allegheny Lunatic Asylum in West Virginia. Uh, and I have this on my video also. What happened was we went down. I can't remember which floor it was. I think it was the first floor. And the guy that was with us, who was kind of carrying us around, told us if we went and sat down at the end of this hall, sometimes, not all the time, you would hear a door open, like creaking open, and they called the spirit, what was it? Creepy. Yeah, they called the spirit creepy because you could go down to the end of this hall and you could hear this door just creaking and close back. Well, I'm
Oh,
thinking, yeah, there's nothing going to happen. So I'm sitting there and I just got, the IR camera going and whatnot. We sit there for about 10 minutes, and then all of a sudden, I mean, nobody else was with us. It was just me and Carrie. We were down at the end of this hallway. It's a big building. And all of a sudden, you hear this door just go, man,
oh wow.
I about crapped myself. I'm not going to lie. I mean, it surprised me. It really did. I was not expecting that at all. So we got up after a few seconds and tried to get it to do it again. And it didn't do it again. So I got up and I tried to figure out which door it was. I couldn't ever figure out where it came from. I don't know if it was a residual sound or actual door. But yeah, it was pretty wild. So Trans Allegheny Lunatic Asylum, and we've had a few things happen there when we went there. So
Like
this.
what?
Well, one of the things was we walked into this one room where this guy, oh, I think it's on the second floor. There's a room that they call the bedpost room. The reason why they call that is because I think three other patients ended up killing this crippled patient. There was four altogether, and three of them ended up killing one of the crippled guys. They put the bedpost on top of the guy's head and kind of jumped on the bed until it pierced the skull and killed him. Well, one of the
Oh
guys,
wow.
yeah, one of the guys that killed or was involved in that killing, he had a room a little bit further down the road, room from the bedpost room. So what happened was, we were just standing there, and they didn't give us the guy's name. I think I learned it later on, but I can't remember what it is right now. They just called him the boxer. He boxed for well, I guess until he ended up there, I guess. And all of a suddenly, I hear something. Carrie's standing almost next to me, and I'm standing right in front of the two rooms, and I hear something out of one of the rooms sound like a loud hiss. And I'm like, what in the heck is that? And I actually cussed on film, but I had to bleep it out because I didn't want to make myself look bad before I can get monetized and all that good stuff. So I go to the room, and there's like a piece of plywood halfway across the door. And I can't find nothing that would make a sound like that. I think I even go inside the room. Actually, while I'm in the room and I start to turn around to walk out, you can hear footsteps. So me and Carrie walk out into the hallway. These footsteps circle us, and you can hear them. It's like several different people. So we sit down and we try to communicate, but that was all that really happened at that moment. So it was amazing. It really blew my mind.
They're trying to fill you out. Maybe you think it
Right,
was like, I wouldn't say demonic because it didn't attack you, but
right.
like a darker entity, definitely.
Yeah, yeah. It was pretty crazy because I mean it sounded just like a hiss, a loud hiss, and I couldn't ever find any. I like to try to debunk a little bit of stuff that happens to me just in case it's something that's obvious, but there was nothing that could make that sound that I could see.
Right.
And see, we had a good question. Yeah, oh yeah, I don't know if you heard me, but you got a subscriber from criticism.
Well,
Let's
thank
see.
you.
Uh
And hello, everyone. Hello. Come hither. I think I'm saying that right. Hit her with Heather,
yeah,
Carrie, and
yeah.
Susan. Susan, Leslie, have you ever seen your own family members? I have not. I've tried. None of them would appear to me. Maybe they hate me even in death, like they do in the living. I've my grandmother supposedly passed away from COVID, and I say supposedly because she had dementia and Alzheimer's, really bad dementia. She had no idea where she was, what she was doing, and she was in hospice. She kept taking off her oxygen mask. So I
Mm,
think that she suffocated herself by taking off her oxygen mask. And the whole thing. I'm a conspiracy theorist too. So let's just say the
mhm.
hospitals get paid a heavy amount if they say the person died of COVID, which I'm like,
Right.
she had no symptoms before she passed. My sister went in 3 days before she passed away. My sister went to the hospital. It was, calling me there, Mama won't keep her mask on. She needs it to breathe because if she don't have it on, she's not going to breathe. She keeps taking it off. So I
Hmm.
believe, in the middle of the night, no one can stay there. That's what happened. I really and truly believe that. I went to speak to her after the COVID thing, and I didn't get all the answers I was looking for. I'd like to go back and do it again, but
Yeah.
there's no signs, no evidence that it was COVID. And she's
Yeah.
with her husband, my football. So they really don't want to chat too much. They just, you know, any other life.
Yeah. See, that's the thing.
So
A
they
lot of
really don't
time,
want to
well, hold
chat.
on. Yeah, a lot of times they'll say complications from COVID. Just like you said, a lot of the hospitals were getting paid for saying that. So even if it could have been something else, yeah, I agree with that definitely. So yeah, that's amazing though. But yeah, so no communication from her at all. Chris had
It
a
was
go ahead.
very little, very little.
Yeah. Chris asked a question up here. I have trying to make sure I'm not missing a whole lot of people. I do know one of. Okay, have you ever experienced demonic? Have you ever experienced demonic entities or entity that you know
Yes,
of?
I have, but not with ghost hunting. It's religious. My very first encounter, with demonic, I like, okay, so this is America's freedom of speech, right? Yeah, I believe in God. I'm not Satanist. I'm gonna let you know I'm not Satanist,
Right.
but I have a deity that I worship. I practice heavily in magic,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not just a magic. You go off and you certain places and do offerings and do your earth spells. So speaking of that, I went to the nature trail that I always go to, and it was late at night, and I went to go grab some from the dirt that was there. And I felt like, okay, I'm gonna get taken by a human. I'm always scared of the living. I'm gonna get kidnapped. Someone's gonna kidnap me. So I go by my friend Eddie's house. This was way back in 2017, before I got into YouTube, before I've done any of this. And I go grab him, so I have security with me. He comes with me to the nature trail so I can grab my dirt. He thinks I'm crazy, but it's okay, whatever you want. And I'm like, is it just me, or did it all of a sudden get super dark? He goes, it did get super dark.
Oh my God.
So I was like, oh, since we're here, let me bring you by this tree where the legend says that, the white people came and stole their native land. They buried a live Indian underneath that tree over there, which
Oh
is why
yeah.
they boarded up with cement. Those videos, well, I have one video on the channel that's you guys as public, and then I
Right.
have another video that's still on the old channel. I promise I'm gonna upload. I got 80 videos, 80, maybe 81 now, that I have to upload, and I'm
Wow.
taking my time with it so I don't
Yeah.
ruin my algorithms and analytics.
Yep.
But I was like, let's go walk over there by the tree. It's only a couple feet from where I'm getting the dirt. And he said, okay. We walk over there, and he used to be a deacon of the church. We both, he watched me grow up. So we're both Baptists, and he seen me convert into my what would I call my cult lifestyle. He seen me convert to my cult lifestyle, and so he's like, we're walking, and then we both just stop. And I said, is it just me, or did it get super dark and super cold? And he's like, oh yeah, I got goosebumps. I said, we're standing next to each other, Joe, and I couldn't see him. And you can
Oh,
see people through the moon or the light when you're out there in the woods.
yeah.
Couldn't see nothing, nothing.
Oh gosh.
So I'm like, why do I feel like I'm seeing through the veil right now? That the part that we're standing on is the light side, and the part that's in front of us is I could see this invisible line where that's the dark side and we're the light side. I said, there's something. I said, don't think I'm crazy, but I think there's a demon by that tree, and there's not supposed to be one.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I take out my phone and start taking pictures, and I'm like, I feel like if we go any further, we both felt threatened. We felt like that the demon was going to pick us up, throw us in the air, twist our necks, and throw us in the bayou, because the bayou was right behind us. Because that's when the nature trail is. All we have, like, woods bayou woods. And he's like, I feel that too. I didn't want to say it out loud, but because you say it out loud, it'll happen.
Yep.
And every time we take steps forward, we started hearing footsteps come closer to us, like it was about to pop up on us. And I said, you hear that? Oh my God, Eddie, I hear footsteps. I never heard them out here. And he's like, I hear that too, Leslie. That's not human. And then we start hearing them like they're running towards us. I said,
Mm.
stop, stop. And I started shouting stuff out, with my deity. I'm like, I still have protection of God with St. Michael, because I'm still huge with St. Michael. I start saying the St. Michael's, prayer, and then I'm like, I can't remember it. I can't remember. Oh, his mind went blank too. I said, you're deacon of the church. You don't remember one Bible verse? Nothing. He goes, no. So I take out my phone. I start taking pictures of everything. We we got back to the truck to go review the pictures. And I kid you not, we hear something like something's underneath the truck, and the truck was parked far away. We had to walk a little while to go to the truck to get away from the area. We thought we were safe in the truck. We get in the truck, and I start hearing, like when a mechanic's taking things apart underneath the truck, like your vehicle,
Mhm.
like metal cleaning and stuff, like a wrench
Yeah.
hitting. I said, "Oh no, you hear that noise?" He goes, "Yeah, Leslie, sounds like something's trying to take something apart under there." I said, "I know, fuck that." I'm like, "We gotta go because I'm not about to be stranded out here." So we drive off. When I go drop him off at his house, I'm like, I said, "I'm gonna review these pictures when I'm at home." I go home, I review the pictures, and sure enough, there's like everything I described to him out there was showing up in the pictures. When as soon as I said out loud, I have St. Michael protection, you see this huge white light going from top to bottom, the
Mhm.
whole camera. And
Right.
then I do have pictures of the demon. I have 2 different pictures of him, and I blew it up with a saturation. I'm like, I've never had a full blown demonic encounter. I've gone since ghost hunting. I have gone to places that have demons in there,
Mhm.
but I haven't gotten scratched, bit, possessed.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there
Yeah.
like, "Can you please show me
Mhm.
something? Drag me down the stairs,
Yeah.
something."
I know. I know. The only thing that's happened to me is having, like I said earlier, my shirt's been pulled. I don't think I've really been scratched, bitten, or anything like that yet. I mean, I don't know if I really welcome it, but if it happens, I want to experience it, I guess. So, yeah, that's an amazing story.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Or if it happens, let it stay over there. Like, okay, so I
Right.
wanna go to the Sally house. I wanna go to the
Mm,
Sally house. I know there's a demon there, but I'm
right.
I'm building myself up to go, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I hope it just peers, like, my fingers, just let me see some fingers in the doorway, or
Mm-hmm.
something, or, put something down the stairs, throw something down the stairs, whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
let it stay over there.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause I
Yeah.
have to
Yeah.
take a flight home after, and
Yeah.
I cherish my life.
I know. That's what worries me about going to like somewhere like Bobby Mackey's. A lot of times people say that they experience things that happen after they leave, and I'm like, I'm not going to fly out there because I'm going to drive because I'm going to stop and do other things on the way out there. But I don't want nothing to happen on the way back. I don't want the car to tear up, or you know what I'm saying. So just bad luck, because usually negative energies cause negative things. So, uh,
Oh,
yeah.
that reminds me. It does remind me. So I went to the Whispers Estate that's in Indiana. I went twice. The
Mhm.
second time I went back was just myself, Drew, and my cameraman. My cameraman lives in Indiana.
Mhm.
And we go, I just bought a brand new Kia Soul. Like, just freaking, we're in the middle of the pandemic, and I saved
Mm.
up all my stimulus and unemployment. I bought myself a new car. I'm like, yes, because the truck was old, had almost about it's a Chevy, so Chevy's
All
around
right.
200,000 miles on it. I'm like, I need something a little bit newer. Got a newer vehicle, and I leave Kelby. We're taking turns in the closet where supposedly Goat Man's at. And I'm in there, and I can't wait. I can't wait until I catch up with my channel and I can release that video because it's two
Mhm.
separate things. He's in the closet by himself, and
Mm.
he just starts going off on him. Do your worst. Come out. Pinch me, bite me. Just do your worst. I'm not afraid of you. And I'm in there with respect. Like, thank you for letting me talk to you. Can you tell me about the cult? Blah, blah, blah. We go to leave. And in my outro, I always say, whether I leave it in the video or I don't, but I always say, thank you for allowing us in your location, your house, or whatever, but you
Mhm.
cannot follow us home. Da 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 da. Cameraman didn't say that. He was driving my car from the Whispers Estates back to, we were going back to the Airbnb. And, he was driving and Drew was in the passenger and I'm in the back seat. I'm in the back seat, like how you're about to lay, like you're laying on the seat. I'm not even sitting properly. And I'm thinking we're doing 35, 40. I'm in the back. We're all agitated. We don't know why.
Mhm.
And next thing you know, I hear boom. I'm like, what the hell? Both the airbags deployed.
Oh,
They
gosh.
their bodies move. I'm in the back. I don't even move. It doesn't faze me. And I'm like, what happened? And they're like, oh, we just hit a deer. Deer came out of nowhere and hit not just not just the driver's side. But Kelby told me if he wouldn't have slowed down like he did, that deer was coming straight for his door.
Oh my
Like it
God.
was trying to kill him. And he's like, I don't know if it was whiplash or what. But he swore up and down that he saw Goat Man seconds before he saw the deer. I said,
Oh
well, did you tell him bye and you can't follow us home and thank you? He goes, no, I didn't say that. I said, that's why he's coming to kill you.
okay. Yeah. Yeah.
He's
Definitely.
coming to get you.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. The insurance company said that. It said normally when a deer hits, it hits the full front of the car like this. It
Yep.
only came like it was trying. You could tell the deer was coming to wipe out like a suicide mission. It was only coming to wipe out the driver's side.
Wow. That's great.
Man,
Yeah.
after that, I gotta watch what I bring.
Yeah. I hear a lot of stories about people that don't say bye properly and things happen afterwards or something follows them back. And that's why me and Carrie made one mistake one time and didn't say bye or you can't follow us home. And then all of a sudden we had a whole bunch of mess going on the next couple nights. So I had to do a cleansing and tell it, hey, you got to get out of here. But after that, we make sure we say, hey, you can't follow us back. You got to stay here, and we say what, like we believe, in God's name or whatnot. You got to stay here. You can't come. So, and ever since we
Yeah,
started doing that, everything's been good. But we just try to keep the best utmost respect for the spirits also. So,
definitely.
yeah, I mean, because you don't need nothing like that because that week that we had those problems, it was just terrible. I mean, I had a hiss, she had growls, we had mechanical failures, the washing machine, the dishwasher, vehicle problems. It was just the worst kind of luck that we could ever really want. So,
Yeah,
uh,
definitely. Where you
yeah.
guys want to go next?
We got a couple places here in North Carolina that we're gonna do, and that we're kind of keeping it kind of private right this second.
Definitely.
Because I kind of want to make it a surprise. But definitely in November we have the West Virginia State Penitentiary, and then the old hospital on College Hill. I think that's what it's called. But my dream location would be the Myrtles Plantation and around your way. Check out some of the like the battlefield that you checked out that night. I can't Clemento or whatever it's called. Didn't you check that battlefield out one night?
I went to Shaman Battlefield. Now, near the Myrtles, I went to the cemetery where all of the Myrtles owners
Went,
owned, like all the past owners of the cemetery. We
mhm.
wanted to go to the battlefield, my sister and I, but we didn't have enough time. But that is definitely in the works.
Yeah.
Definitely, been messed up everything, so I didn't get to go to the Myrtles last year or this year. So,
Hmm.
uh,
Yeah. Yeah, I seen that you went to Mr. Winter's grave site and all that good stuff too. So yeah, that's a place I really want to get to, but it's like 15, 16 hour drive for us. And so I'm thinking about trying to attempt it next year, but um, I don't know yet.
mm,
That's a long ride. We went like when we went to Indiana for the Randolph County Asylum, that was like 11, 12 hours, and that was a long ride, a real long ride.
yeah, yeah, I feel you on that because I drove from here to Indiana when I went to Whispers. I was like, oh man,
Hmm.
I don't know if I'm getting old or if I'm just anxious to be there, or just irritated now. But I'm like, I could do 7 hours,
Yeah, yeah,
but a more than that, it's kind of hard.
yeah. I know 7, 8 hours don't seem so bad, but you get much more than that. It's like, God, man, are we there yet? So
Yeah.
do y'all have any big plans for any upcoming investigations or?
Um, well, in September, we're flying to Kansas, but not to the Sally House, I wish. But we're
Mhm.
going to go to the Masonic Temple with, gonna be us. I don't know if you know John from HSFL Paranormal.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he's a real good friend of ours, and he put the whole event together because he owns the company that's doing it together. He owns it, like Con Paranormal,
Mhm.
and we're going as guest speakers because not guest speakers. I'm sorry, we're going as guests because I didn't want to do the guest speaking because I wasn't prepared for it,
Right.
and we found out the haunted side, and I keep calling him Mustafa from A&E's Ghost Hunters. He's going. I'm like, yeah, just give it to them because I'm just a nobody. I'm a small YouTuber, had to start over, and this is TV personnel, and the
Mhm.
haunted side's way
Yeah.
bigger than me, and give it to them.
Yeah,
I can learn something from them.
yeah, I
So we're
see.
gonna, after the event, when it's just, us,
Mhm.
we're gonna do a personal investigation of the Masonic Temple. So it's gonna be
Right.
pretty awesome. And then October, Drew's from Colorado, so October, I'm gonna go back to Colorado for a couple of days and do Cheeseman Park, which you've seen on the Poltergeist movie.
Mhm. Yep.
Remember? Yeah. And the Oxford Hotel, and I want to do the Black uh, Monarch Hotel. So definitely that. And I'm trying to come back up to the Carolinas between November and December because I have a good friend up there, and that I told her I'd come see her.
Mhm.
And while I'm up there, I'm gonna ghost hunt definitely. But I'm like,
Right.
maybe I could meet up with you guys.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. Yeah, we got a couple of
Uh,
cool little locations around North Carolina. But yeah,
or
that's me.
the border, the North-South Carolina border, that'd be cool too.
I know. I've really thought about that. I've really thought about that. The south of the border, and I've heard of a few little of them little hotels are said to be haunted also. But I've just not figured out exactly which one. But yeah, pretty interesting though. Yeah, I seen where you had posted that on Instagram about that Fear Fest or whatever, what you just talked about, and that you didn't want to be
Yeah.
a speaker because you didn't have enough time. Yeah, I don't blame you on that because I mean I mean I can talk to the public, but the thought of just getting up and talking in front of people just really scares me, at one time. But once I'm up there and I kind of get used to it, it's not so bad. But
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's the fact too that, okay, not only are all eyes on you, but
Hmm.
I'm like, as much as I know, I don't want to go up there. I'm always afraid of looking stupid in front of someone that's bigger than me. Like, Phil, this is the moron. I mean, like, I still have things that I need to study for myself. Like, I'm
Hmm.
not sure exactly what all the colors are for the REM pod. Like, I feel like that I just really need to study, like, school before I go and, give a speech.
Right.
I
Right.
feel like I'm being graded.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, nobody can see it on my channel. I keep these things private, but I've got a whole little list of like it's these people up there teaching like paranormal studies, and I keep it private because it's really only for me. But probably a tenth of them I probably watched, but they're there to if I want to go and kind of on my personal time to go back and kind of listen to it, but sometimes it can be very boring. It's like sitting in a classroom, so but a lot of my learning comes from is just really reading or listening to the audible, from like the Warrens books or whatnot, so but I really want to ask, I don't know if you can talk about this or not, but did oh yeah, I don't you investigated with Colin from the Paranormal Files, right?
I have.
Right, right. Yeah, I like that. I like his channel. I like his channel. Yeah. Do
Yeah,
y'all?
I like what he does. He does the full history behind everything, and then
Mhm,
he's like me, just very adamant about how you film. Like we're not,
mhm,
I like him, his style. It's like, because I like it too. I don't like the sloppiness. I like to cut it out, get straight to the detail. But
Yeah.
I'm trying to practice filming good things and keeping it raw because I get bored easy. So I do
Right.
a lot of cuts because
Not,
it's like
yeah.
you got to watch 15 minutes before you get to,
Mhm.
something that really happened. So I'm going to cut
Mhm.
all this out and just get straight to it.
Mhm.
But he's very authentic, very,
Mhm.
very original. And that's somebody I definitely like. So, the Haunted Side and the Paranormal Files and Brittany 44 are
Mhm.
my three favorite bigger YouTubers. Those are the ones that, yeah, I'd meet with you, let's see how you do
Mhm.
things so I could, add this, to
Right.
mine. And, so
Yep.
definitely like I loved, every aspect of me. He was
Yeah.
teaching, us stuff and we were showing him things and we just put it together and it was pretty dope. It was pretty dope. And I took him to the orphanage where I did my 30-minute alone challenge and I got scared to
Mhm.
death because there was something evil in there. I'm like, I don't know if it's demonic or not because I didn't see it, but I
Mhm.
saw the 7 8 foot shadow. Things were being thrown. And I'm like, I'm bringing him around and I'm like, there's a knife that was thrown. And, I'm like, this is where we heard the footsteps and the yelling and, we're there. And he's like 5 minutes in and he's hearing the same noises, that we heard. And so he's like, oh my God. He's like, I'm so creepy.
Yeah. Yeah. I love. See, the reason why I really like the Paranormal Files is because I like it, like you're talking about the way he edits, and that's something that I really am trying to learn myself. Which I mean, I know a little bit about Ed, and you know that, and you do too. But I'm trying to make
Mhm.
things more interesting. And I know if something sits there long enough, it's going to become static and people are going to get bored and click off. So I'm really trying to be better at B-roll or stock footage, to kind of just switch up the scene a little bit with jump cuts and all this other stuff too. So, but yeah, it's
Mhm.
that's amazing that you got to hang out with them and show them around a little bit and film with them. That's cool. I like that. Yeah, he really
Yeah,
seems like he's down to earth.
yeah, he is. He's real cool. He's like, you know, um, I would kind of, call him maybe like the Valley Boy hippie kind of, 'cause he's like, yeah, totally, that's dope. Oh my God,
Mhm.
like, he let us pick him up from the hotel. Well, he put out an ad that he was gonna be in New Orleans, spare of the moment things. Him and Courtney just got
Mhm.
engaged, and he's like, anybody know any locations? Hit me up. But my fiance is friends with one of his friends in Colorado.
Mhm.
So she ended up hooking up with him because next thing you know, Colin texts my fiance's phone out of the blue. He's like, "Is this Andrew?" And he's like, "Who's this?" He goes, "Colin." He texts his full name, and he's like, "I don't know a Colin." He goes, "The Paranormal Files," and he goes, "Oh." And then they call, and he's like, "I'm here in New Orleans. Can you show me around?" Da da da. So we took him. We only had time to take him to 2 locations, but it was pretty freaking dope. And he's like, and I'm sitting here like, I thought bigger YouTubers don't hang out with little YouTubers because you know, the whole, oh, you're chasing for fame and what they call clout. I don't call it clout. I call starstruck. And
Mhm.
so I'm like, I thought they didn't do that because of the whole starstruck thing or you're, like they're better than you, da da da. And he's not like that. He's not like
Right.
that at all.
Right.
He's,
That's cool.
he's like, I got to start just like everybody else. I said, well, I had to start over. So
Mhm. That's cool. Yeah. I got to ask you a question. What was your favorite spot to investigate and your dream place to investigate? No Quarter Paranormal asked that question.
my dream spot would be Sally House and Waverly Hills. I've been huge on both. You can't just pick
Mhm.
one. And my favorite spot I did, like my absolute favorite, I guess is because how the video came out, was Duff Green Mansion in
Mhm.
Vicksburg, Mississippi.
Right. Right.
When they had the Union and Confederate War, and
Mm-hmm.
they housed both Union and Confederate soldiers. The mansion itself had the cannonballs go through it. They still have
Mm-hmm.
the original cannonballs, in the display. Well, we had the whole thing to ourselves. Like, you're supposed to rent out rooms, but we just so happened to go there during the week. No one was there, and she's like, "Yeah, you have the whole house to yourself." Wandering through the kitchen, we're hearing noises everywhere. Um, they're speaking. I'm like, because I was born in St. Louis, but I've been
Mm-hmm.
here in New Orleans for 31 years. So I'm like, I was born a Yankee, but I'm a rebel by choice. Will that make me a Yankee or a rebel? And it came on the thing. It said Yankee.
Mm.
I was like, what is this? So the intelligent responses off the spirit box and the noises that we got, I'm like, I loved it. I don't know what it was. Maybe because it was one of the older style houses, and I dressed for the occasion, like
Mm-hmm.
kind of old. I even wore. I was kind of teasing the ghost a little bit, but I didn't want to do the Zach Bagans approach, so I took the hat off the display of the soldiers' uniforms. I'm gonna take this hat and wear it around the house all night, and I did. And try and get the spirit to chase me, like, I'm wearing your hat. How do you feel about that? And
Right.
then you hear a loud knock come from the other room, and I was like, turn that speaker box off. Did you hear that? And we're sitting there playing with the swords that they had, everything was original. Like, that's everything they found on the property after the war. And they left it out in open. Some of it's not in display case. So I'm like,
Mm.
being respectful, but I'm able to
Right.
touch it. And I try to do a live reenactment almost to see if,
Mm-hmm.
to bring them back to time. And
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I was like, it wowed me because that's one of my first videos that I did. I was professional.
Right.
It it's still on the old channel. I gotta upload it to the new channel. It's like I think I have one video in front of it because I'm uploading them in order. That's what's taking me so long. So to go back into the chat where they're asking about the Navy, the U.S. Navy video, have I uploaded it? No, because I just edited it. So I have like 80 videos in front of it before it drops. But it's all there. I just gotta bring it to the new channel, which I'm kind of scared to death. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna wait, but they're
Yeah.
coming.
I like the history side of the stuff. Expect that's why I like the South. I love to learn about the Civil War, and I just love the history. And what I like about like areas up towards Virginia way, they also have the Civil War, but they also have like the Revolutionary War and stuff. Which I mean, they happen all up and down the East Coast and West. I mean, the northern and eastern coast or south. My bad. But anyway, that's what I like about the paranormal stuff is I love the history about it, and that you can possibly connect with some of the folks from that time. So yeah, that's cool that you do that, and I thought somebody else had a question, but I couldn't find it. If anybody else has any questions for her, please ask them now, or if I missed anybody, and please subscribe to her channel. I put the link up there a couple times. Uh, Please drop a like on this video too, please, if y'all don't mind. uh, Oh, okay. I got one. Miss Susan asked it, and I couldn't find it. She said, "What would you ask your family if you could see them again in spirit form?"
All right. Um, it's something I have done. Me being me, I'm a sarcastic a-hole.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Right.
And what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. So when I went
Mm-hmm.
to go speak to my deceased grandmother last year, who was
Mm-hmm.
my dad's mom, I never acknowledged her as my grandma. I'm like, that's Isabel. That's Isabel. I asked her, and if I could see it in spirit form, I asked her again, why did you hate me so much when I was alive? When you were alive, I'm sorry. Why did you hate me
Yeah.
so much when you were alive?
Hmm.
What did I ever do to you, to
Right.
deserve that?
Yeah. Yeah. I got a lot of. Well, I don't know about hate, but I got a lot of sarcasm and evilness, I would call it, from my granddad. So I kind of feel
Yeah.
a little bit about that too. So I don't know if he just didn't like me or was just an ill guy. I don't know, but but I guess if does is there anything that you would like to add before we kind of close out to the live?
Um, no, I, I think that's it. I thank the
Right.
chat, for being so kind and
Yeah.
respectful, and I thank you, Joe and Carrie,
Oh yeah.
for being really good friends and supporters this whole time. And I've been bummed about having to start over, but I kind of I'm like, man, I know these people are getting tired of like, hey, can you go subscribe to this channel and start over? I'm like, man, but it's so cool just still having you guys, you
Oh yeah.
know, uh, in my corner is pretty awesome. And getting some chat, because I had some controversy of myself last year. It's been a whole year since I've been doing it. I haven't been live or nothing. My first panel interview after a year. So I think besides my thank yous and
Yeah.
much love to y'all. I definitely, we could, meet up or whatever.
Oh yeah.
I have someone that could come with me, and it wouldn't, we wouldn't be by ourselves. Like, it would be two men with two women, so we kind of have a little extra backup just in case something happens,
Yeah.
like that.
Oh yeah.
The muscle kind of camera.
Yeah. Well, I definitely appreciate you coming on tonight, and I know we had a little bit of trouble to begin with, but at least we got it worked out. And yeah,
Yeah.
I'm glad that I found you when I found you, and sticking with you, because I mean I like your content. You put out some good stuff, and I enjoy it. So and
Well, thank you.
yeah, I mean I know things happen, and that's why I followed you around a couple times to your official channel now. So it's all
Yep,
good.
officially over it. I should have named it that. Paranormal officially over it. I thought about that.
All right.
But I'm like, no, I started with All Things. I gotta keep that name.
Yeah,
So
when we started out, we called ourselves Bath Paranormal. It's just I didn't like that name, but I finally came up with the paranormal side, and actually, believe it or not, I didn't even know that the haunted side was a channel. So when I came up with the paranormal side, then I found the haunted side, and at the time they were really small, and they just blew up and left us behind. So, but I talked to him when he was smaller, and he said how he liked my name and all that stuff. And I was like, well, dude, I'm gonna let you know I didn't know you were the haunted side, but yeah, it's fairly similar. But
Patrick,
yeah, Patrick,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Look in
it
the
was.
comments. Like I said, we're gonna go see him. I don't mean to cut you off. We're gonna go see him. He just so happens to be at the temple. But my thing is, like, I met him during COVID too. Last year, that's where I met a lot of people that I know, except for you guys. I've known y'all since the end of time, the beginning of time.
Yeah.
But like we met when I still had my roommate Sam. I was just coming on to YouTube.
Oh
I
yeah.
wasn't even my. But the haunted side is like I met them. They had like 60,000 subscribers, maybe 70.
Mhm.
And we chat back and forth, and I didn't know who they were until I saw my Nuke's Top 5 with the
Mhm.
clear water demon video. I'm like, oh, that is so cool.
Yep.
But I'm looking at it like it's too much. Sure, it's real. You want to keep your investigations real, but you don't want them to
Mhm.
be boring. But I'm like, why
Right.
does this look like TV?
Mhm. Yeah. Trying to be a TV channel. Yep.
Yeah.
I don't
I mean,
know.
it's cool. I like their work, but it's
Yeah.
just
But
Colin's pretty cool. He's the best.
yeah. Well, if somebody Colin has done so good, and I mean, I know he's had to have a little bit of money behind him, but when it comes to the haunted side, they've had I can tell they've had money pushing them because they've went to some of the best places, and I know these places aren't cheap. So they've got the drones. I know they got that. They've got some of the good cameras. They got the good equipment. So they've got money. But somebody like us, we don't. We got to work for what we got. So I don't know where they're getting it from, but that's no matter. But I guess we'll all get there one day, hopefully. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
it's a lot of work, but that's because everyone does it their difference. Like I said, they film more of like a TV aspect of it
yeah,
rather than, like Colin just,
yeah.
it's different every time. But
Hmm.
if he doesn't have his cameraman, it's how he sets up everything to angle it. Like it's like he
Hmm.
really checks out his places before he does it,
Yeah.
and he keeps everything rolling. Most of it's raw, but the fact
Hmm.
that it's telling the history during the intro, plus throughout the investigation. That's something I like doing too. Like
Hmm.
I
Right.
save some of it while you're doing this,
Hmm.
because what if you don't know about something and you're trying to figure it out in your head, and then you just show proof of what you were saying out loud is real, like
Yeah.
um we walked into an abandoned hospital. This is one we took Colin to. But the first time Drew and I went to, there was a little chapel in the middle of it, right? And he's like, "Oh, look at the theater." I'm like, "This isn't a theater." Like, my sixth sense kicks in. I kind of know. And I'm like, "That's an altar." Right away, I know what altars look like because, I'm studying. I'm making myself study religions, because of
Mhm.
my occult background and my
Right.
Baptist background. So I'm like, "There's an altar. That's not a theater. There's nothing, with the big screen projector, none of that." And then before you know it, like he's on camera and swearing up and down it's a chapel. And then there was a paper on the ground that showing the Christmas mass that they had. So we caught that on
Ooh.
camera. Like I picked it up. See, I told you. Oh my God, there's proof. This is a chapel. And we didn't know that going into it. So I
Hmm.
like to leave some things open so you get that on camera reaction. So to keep it interesting,
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. Well, I guess yeah. Definitely. If you come to North Carolina or we go to y'all, I would really like to meet up with you in person and maybe go do some ghost hunts or investigations and whatnot. And
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
yep, man, I'll definitely keep in touch with you that way. The way we have, and but I guess I'm gonna go ahead and start wrapping everything up because it's going on an hour and a half, which I know you had a little bit of problems, but I think it's been
Yeah.
close to an hour. So I appreciate everybody who stopped by in the chat, and thank you, Leslie, for coming to. Please go check out All Things Paranormal official. Um, Also check out Drew's channel. Also, that's your boyfriend, correct? Not your husband.
Yeah.
Yep. All right,
Well, my fiance.
yeah, your fiance. That's 303 Paranormal, correct?
Yeah, 303 Paranormal TV.
Yep. Check both of them out. They're pretty cool. I like both of their channels. And I appreciate everybody tonight. And thank you for all the mods and all that. And any last words, or are we good to go?
No, thank you everybody for having me, and you guys have been awesome.
Yep. All righty. I'm going to sign off of here. Thank you, Leslie, for stopping by tonight. I sure do appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. I appreciate you having me.
Hopefully, you got a couple more subscribers. So,
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
all right. Thank you. Y'all have a good night, everybody, and y'all take care.
Okay. Safe weekend.
All right. Thank you. Let's
All right,
see.
bye-bye.
Good night, everybody.